Hello everyone, and welcome to this educational presentation of how to become a consistent trader with the dynamic duo. If you're new to my presentations, you've probably never heard me speak about this before, but this is one of the most popular as well as consistent trading programs we have at Specialist Trading and Pro Trader Strategies. For example, let me show you this example here in this older chart of Facebook. Now this is going back to the summer. As we can see here that Facebook had a really nice run up, and then it fell out of bed with some major negative news, and you can see it lost a good percentage of its value here. Well, the dynamic duo would have not only had you in the trade right here, but it would have given you the option to exit the trade right here for potential capture of over 20 points, close to 21 points. So this is why this method is so popular and so consistent in its ability to capture some nice trades with a high level of consistency and ability to get you out with a nice profit as well. And this is all done simply and easily. In fact, it's one click away with our platform, the PTS Primo Charting Platform, which I designed with Pro Trader Strategies. We specifically designed it as the educational portal that teaches you how to trade. So, welcome once again. This is Steven Primo. I am the president and founder of Specialist Trading. And as you can see, we really put a lot of emphasis on teaching and educating you as a trader. Because in my 4 decades of trading, if there's one thing I've learned, it's the reason why the majority of all traders fail is because they are not making their own decisions. And they're relying on someone or something else to trade for them. And you ask yourself, well, why would you do that? Why would you take your hard-earned money and let some guy in a chat room or some guy in a blog or some so-called trading guru on TV tell you what to do? It's because you as a trader have not been provided with the proper education so that you can make your own trading decisions. So we are filling that gap. We're providing you with this education, which has stood the test of time. I've been trading for 41 years. I started on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange. I was on the floor for 16 years. 9 of those years I was a specialist. That's where we get the name Specialist Trading. So in my 41 years of trading, I've seen and traded just about everything. I've traded straight up, straight down markets. I've traded just about every system, every technique that is currently available right now. I've already traded. They just repackage it with different names and different indicators. But once again, I know what works in terms of consistency and I know what doesn't. So why not save your hard-earned money and your time searching for these things when we can provide it for you and teach you so that you can ultimately be in charge of your own trading destiny. This is what we do at Specialist Trading and Pro Trader Strategies. As you'll see in just a few moments, we give a lot of attention to detail in educating you. So before we begin, as always, we're first required to share this with you. So please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results with using our dynamic duo package, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future, and please remember that all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. So as you're taking a brief moment to view our required disclaimer, once again, I'd like to invite each and every one of you to follow us on Twitter. I post a lot of different information, different things about what we may see the current market conditions are through our strategies and methods as generated by their signals, or just little bits of wisdom, financial wisdom along the way. So lots of great free information, educational information. Feel free to follow us on Twitter. And one more thing I'd also like to announce is that if you're going to be in Las Vegas, or if you'd like to go to Las Vegas, please come and join me. I will be speaking the week of November 12th through the 14th at Bally's, Las Vegas at the Traders Expo. We will be speaking there with some other people, so there's a great opportunity to come and meet me if you are currently a student of mine or a prospective student. I will be giving a great presentation showing you some or all of our strategies, a lot of different things there, but a great way to meet you. And so if you're going to be in Las Vegas this next following week, I would love to meet you and possibly sit down with you for a few moments and talk about our educational opportunities. Okay, with that said, once again, we are an educational company. Our only goal is simply to educate you. As you can see here, my goal is not to force feed you signals the way some other websites do. My goal is not to force feed you a system and have you blindly take buy and sell orders without any idea of what they're based on. That's not what we're here for. My goal is to teach you how to trade with the specialist edge. The same edge that was taught to me some 4 decades ago and that has sustained me for 4 decades, hopefully it will be able to do the same for you. So since this is an educational presentation, I want you to ask me a question. If something doesn't make sense, you don't fully understand it, that's okay, but we can't ask questions on every slide the way some other presenters do, or we'll be here far too long. I know you have a busy trading day ahead of you, so if you have a question, please write it down or remember it. I promise I shall get to it at the very end of today's class. The only question that will be answered at this time is if we provide you with a link to this recording. Yes, we do. We have all of our webinars recorded, so if you have to leave early or if you're having technical issues, we can supply you with a link, okay? All right, with that said, let's begin. And let me start out by saying, in order to trade the markets today, you need a 1-2 punch. You know, it isn't just as good as having a great indicator or having a technique that when the lines cross or when good news comes out, you need more than just one thing to rely on. And it isn't just enough to listen to see what the earnings are or to see what some so-called guru likes. You need a 1-2 punch. Now, the first thing you need is a consistent trading plan that is based on market behavior. You see that I underlined that. So what does that mean if you're not really skilled with what market behavior is? Well, market behavior basically has to do with the chart in front of you. You see, when you're looking at what's the institutions are doing, or even where support and resistance are, or if you're looking at a Fibonacci retracement or Elliott wave, that really isn't market behavior. The reason is because those things are very subjective. They're discretionary. One person can look at a chart and say, oh, this is where the support is. And another trader will say, no, that's where the resistance is. See how subjective that is? Or someone can look at a news event and say, oh, that's very positive for the company. And another person can say, no, well, the long term, that's negative, actually. So I would not buy that. So it's too subjective, it's too discretionary. We need things that are more cut and dry. And you have to rely on market behavior because that's a source of what you're trading. If you know how to listen and how to discern what the market behavior is, it's very black and white. It's very either positive or negative. It's buy or sell. So we need a plan that's based on that and not an outside source. And then secondly, we also have to have that plan be consistent. I'm sure you're saying that, well, sure, yeah, I want every plan I need is to be consistent, but most people don't really understand what that term means. Consistent actually means that you are aware and you acknowledge that you will have losses from time to time. That's really what the format, the basis of consistency means. It means that you will have losses and that you're okay with that. But it means that you will be able to make back those losses, and you will have a 2-step forward, 1-step back approach. So it'll be almost like a stair-step approach in your profit and losses. That's what consistency means. So there is an understanding that losses are inevitable. That's okay. Don't ever let anyone tell you that we've never lost. We will never lose. We've only lost once in 10 years. I mean, that's silly. I lose all the time. In fact, a perfect example, my very first trade today was a loss. And then I had 2 other trades after that that made back that loss. So that's what you want in your trading plan, consistency. So you need to have, number one, a trading plan based on consistency and market behavior. Now, since we know that we will have losses from time to time, let me show you what I mean here. Strategy 4 takes care of that number 1 category in the 1-2 punch. Let me tell you what strategy 4 is. It's a great strategy for all traders, from beginners to advanced. It's originally designed for traders looking to catch momentum moves, all right? Whether that momentum move lasts 5 minutes or whether that momentum move lasts 5 weeks, it doesn't matter. It's still momentum. So I don't want you to think that, oh, well, Steve, I'm not a day trader. I don't just day trade. I want to hold on to stocks for weeks, maybe even months. That's fine. We have tons of traders who do that. We actually have traders who use strategy number 4 for investing, looking at monthly charts. So it makes no difference what time frame. It's intensity level. If 1 were the most intense of all strategies and 3 was the most relaxed, it's a very modern number 2 intensity level. Why? Because it only uses 1 indicator, and I will share with you what that indicator is today. The beauty of strategy number 4 is its flexibility. In other words, it can be transferred onto any time frame, any direction, and any market. So it doesn't matter what you're trading. Someone could say, well, Steve, I don't trade stocks. I trade currency pairs. Okay, that's fine. Or they say, well, Steve, no, I trade Bitcoin. That's a totally different market. Okay, great. We have some great strategy 4 setups in Bitcoin. Or commodities. or currency pairs or futures. It makes no difference what market, what time frame, and what direction. Now, if you're a member of the course, of Strategy 4 course, you receive automatic buy and sell arrows. They're strictly for educational purposes only, a way to check your work. As I said earlier, you need a plan that's based on consistency, and strategy number 4 is one of our most consistent methods we have to date, meaning that we are aware that we'll have losses from time to time. That's perfectly okay. You want a method that's able to recoup those losses. In fact, I'll show you some examples today where it did have some losses and it was able to recoup. All right, so that's the first punch you need in that 1-2 punch. What about the second category? Well, that's a tool that filters out the bad trades from the good ones, because we know that we will have losses, right? We've already come to terms with that. We already understand that. But is there a way to kind of filter out some of those losses? We're not guaranteeing that all of a sudden all the losses are gone. We're not going to magically wipe them clean. We know we can't do that. But what if there was a way that we could increase our odds for consistency with a specific tool? Well, yes, there is. This is number 2 on the part of the 1-2 punch. It's the PET D. Now, if you're not familiar with the PET D, it is one of our most powerful trending tools we have. It's not a strategy. It's not a technique, a method. It is simply a short-term trend identifier. When I was working on the floor, this was introduced to me. The only trouble was we had to calculate this by hand because we didn't have high-speed computers. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have, we didn't have programmers to program things. We had to do it by hand on a scratch pad. But we've taken all that hard work out of it for you. What we've done is devise it into a color bar algorithm. For example, as you see here in this chart of Edna, most traders will get in far too late. They'll say, well, okay, I've come to the conclusion that this is an uptrend. I'm going to go long, and then all of a sudden this happens. And then you're holding on for the long term, right? So what the PET D does is it colors the bars from green to red. If the colors are green, you know that you're in a short-term uptrend. If it colors change to red, you're in a short-term downtrend. Now, how do we apply this with Strategy 4? Well, the beauty of the PET D is that it tells you which direction you should be trading for the short term, as you see here. And once you know that direction, you can confirm if your strategy is in sync with that direction. So we're going to use the PET D as a confirmational tool in this aspect. When we put these two together, this combination is called the dynamic duo, one of our most consistent and one of our most powerful as well as popular trading methods that we have at Specialist Trading and Pro Trader Strategies. The dynamic duo is great because it fulfills that 1-2 punch. One, in having a method that has a high level of consistency and is based off market behavior, and 2, adding a tool that can weed out some of those bad trades, so you increase your odds for consistency even more. Let's go back now to that original trade we had, Facebook, okay? All right, so what you want to do is learn all the rules. In our course, we teach you exactly what it's based off of, all right? And let's say after you've been studying the online course, you say, well, I think that there's a strategy number 4 somewhere around here. From what I've learned so far in the course, there should be a buy setup here, all right? So the easiest thing to do is to check your work. You would click on Strategy number 4 tab, drop-down menu appears, click on Signal Arrow to check and see if there was a buy setup anywhere around there, and guess what? There was. Now that buy setup, let me just give you 2 of the rules for that, okay? Firstly, you have to be above the 50-period moving average, which isn't displayed here right now, and you have to close in the top portion of the bar, which it did. So those are 2 of the initial rules. There are also other rules which I can't divulge right now because, as I've always stated, it wouldn't be fair to the people that purchased the entire course. But I've just given you 2, all right? So this is a valid buy signal. But now we want to see if we can increase our odds for success even more. We want to apply a tool that will confirm that we should take this trade. That's the PET D. Once again, on our platform, you would simply click on PET D and see what the colors are. Now, we see a mixture of colors from green to red, back to green again. All we care about is the color of the setup bar. That's the bar on top of the arrow if we're buying, or below the arrow if we're selling. As we can see here, this is our buy signal, and what color is the outline of the bar? It's green. So that's the PET D confirming that it's okay to take this trade. Is it guaranteeing that this trade's going to be 100% winner? No. Once again, nothing does. If anyone ever says that to you in a webinar, you should run. There's no such thing as 100% guaranteed or foolproof. All we can try and do is increase our odds for consistency. And that's what the PET-D does. So as you can see, look what happened. Now, ultimately, someone would say, well, yeah, but Steve, look what happened here. What if I were holding on long to this position and then it turns into a big loss after that news came out? You're right, that could happen. But in the course, we supply you with different variables for exits. In fact, one of the exits would have been right here. You could have potentially captured, I believe, 21 points or so in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to show you what that variable is in just a few minutes here. All right, so let's look at some more dynamic duo examples. Now that you understand that you need this 1-2 punch, you need a method that's based on market behavior being the first two rules I share with you. Are we above or below the 50-period moving average? If you're above, you'll only get buy signals. It's black and white. You can't get a buy signal below the 50-period moving average. And if you get a buy signal, you want to see that bar close towards the top of its range. If you get a sell signal, you want to see the opposite. You want to see it below the 50, and you want to see it close towards the bottom 25% of its range. Those are black and white things. There's no room for discretion there. You see how that's market behavior. It's not based off of some guy saying, well, the institutions are buying, that they've ramped it up even more, so this is a clear-cut buying area, or this is a tremendous Elliott wave support here. This is the end of the 4 wave, and we've got to buy. You know, that's too discretionary. Trust me, I've seen these things 40 years ago. They didn't have any level of consistencies then, and they're not going to start changing and all of a sudden work tremendously now. It's much more conducive to being consistent if you listen to what the market is saying. Market behavior as opposed to an outside source like institutions, volume, some guy in a chat room, some blog, some guy on TV. There's no consistency in those things. This is how you put the power back in your hands by taking charge of trading for the very first time. All right, so let's look at some more examples here. Here's an example in KLIC, all right? The stock had a nice run up and then starts to falter here. In fact, it even gapped down. But after you've been studying the rules, you think that there's some type of buy area right here. Once again, you check your work, and yes, there was. There's a buy signal. Now, in order to give you that 1-2 punch, you need to add the PET-D. You want to see this outlined green. We don't care about the previous colors here. All we care about is that the bar on top of the arrow is outlined green. Once you see that, you have the added confidence to take that trade. Once again, this is not a system. I know a lot of you at the end of the presentation will say, well, Steve, what is the win-loss ratio of this? Or what are the statistics? What's the worst drawdown? Remember, this is a strategy. A strategy is not the same as a system. A system requires everyone to trade blindly the same way every time. A strategy gives you 30 to 40% discretion, meaning that you can use your insight and your experience and research to tell you whether you want to buy at a certain level, to tell you where you want to place your stop, to tell you where you want to exit. So we can't statistically back up and research each and every one of those variables. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of different variables. And that goes against our philosophy. We're not trying to systematize anything. We are an educational company. Someone could look at this and say, oh, I'm going to take it now. The PET-D has confirmed it. Someone could say, well, I'm not going to take this. I still don't feel comfortable. I'm going to wait for the earnings to come out. I'm sorry, but I do still rely on that. That's fine. You should be in charge of your own trading decisions, not us. So we're not going to tell you how to trade. We just provide you with the information. So let's say you did decide to take this trade. Well, that was a nice setup there. You had a nice buy, roughly, let's see, that would be around the 111 area. It went up a good 8-9 points. If you hadn't taken a profit by that time, well, once the PET-D started to come down, when it had consecutive red bars, you would have gotten out. Perhaps you would have broken even. All right. Now let's see some of the setups that strategy 4 generated again, because strategy number 4 doesn't just stop once the market starts going down. As you can see here, 3 more buy setups were generated. But what is the second rule of the 1-2 punch? In other words, the PET-D needs to confirm it. The PET-D would need to color those bars green because they're buy signals. And what color are all of those buy signals? They're all red. So the PET-D in our 1-2 punch told us, most likely, don't take these trades. They're not confirmed. So that's how it kept you out of trouble. You had one winning trade here. 3 more trades, and it kept you out, a tool that will keep you out of a lot of the losers. Here's another example in Yelp. We had 2 sell signals that worked out fairly well. You're looking here and you say, well, you know what? I think that there is a buy, or I should say a sell setup here. You check your work, and yes, there is. There is a sell setup. But you want to be a little bit more sure, so you add the pet D to confirm it. Once you do, you see that, well, all sell signals have been colored red. So yes, this is confirmed. Had you taken that trade, you had a nice movement to the downside. Here's another example in PEP. Now, someone looking at this would say, well, Steve, sure, the stock really went up yesterday based on some good news, let's say, or a recommendation. But the chat room I go to says that it went up far too fast, too quickly, too much. All of the indicators are overbought. It should be sold at this level because most likely it's going lower, maybe going to fill in this area, maybe come down to the support right here. The institutions all got out. They're not buying this anymore. Do you see how I make all my trading decisions based off things that show no signs of consistency? They're all based off what someone else is doing or something is telling you. They're not based off what the market is telling us. So this strategy relies on market behavior. And guess what? It generated a buy signal. Okay. Does this mean that it's 100% guaranteed it's going higher? No. So maybe you want to confirm it. We add the pet D, and yes, it's confirmed. Even though the bar before it was red, we're not concerned with that. We're only concerned with the color of the outline of the setup bar. So if you wanted to take this trade, you could. If you wanted to enter at a lower area, which we teach you in the course, you could. If you wanted to use a short stop, you could. If you wanted to give yourself more stops, more risk, we could do that as well. We give you all these different variables. It's up to you. There's no way to statistically back this up because there are 1,000,001 ways to trade it. Let's just say you decided just to use the most basic format, which we teach you. Well, that would have been fine because you would have entered and had a nice trade here. Here's another example, letter G. Now, this stock was coming straight down, and then it started to bounce. All right. Some people would say, well, I think that this is going higher because there's a lot of buying behind it. Whereas others would say, no, I think it's going lower because this is just a pullback, and it should make new lows once it's finished this nice little bounce. Why don't we just listen to the market? What's the market telling us? All right. The market's telling us right here that it wants to go lower. It generated 2 sell signals. Now, once again, is this right 100% of the time? Absolutely not. The market is fickle. The market can change its mind anytime it wants. It can be going straight down, look terrible, and all of a sudden have a tremendous rally. Or it can be going straight up and look as if it's going lower and continue to go higher the way this did. So as you can see, these 2 setups did not work based on market behavior. Why? Because the market was quick. It decided to change. And as we stated, you will have losses from time to time. Is there a way to filter out, not 100%, but some of those losses? Sure, you apply the pet D. In order for us to go short, both of those sell setup bars needed to be colored red. Let's add the pet D. Once you do, you just click on here in our green strategy tab, and automatically the pet D is applied. What color are those sell setup bars? They're green. So the pet D was not confirming this. So you would have never taken the trade as a member of our pet D course, and you would not have lost money. See the beauty in this? That 1-2 punch. Here's another example in VLO. We had some nice buy signals that were all profitable, and we had another buy signal that was a loss. Could the pet D have helped us? Well, click on the pet D tab and the colors automatically change. Each and every one of these bars was colored green, except the last bar, which was outlined red. So you never would have taken that buy, and therefore you never would have lost money. And someone would have said, well, Steve, this is a really strong downtrend. What if I like to go short or buy puts? Sure, because 3 more sell signals were generated, and they were all confirmed by the pet D. So that's the beauty of strategy 4. It will generate setups all the way up and all the way down if you have a strong enough trend. Then you just need the pet D to confirm those setups. Now, a lot of traders like to trade different time frames. Let me show you an example of a weekly time frame here. This is a weekly chart, and we're looking at Netflix, okay, an older chart. As you can see, Netflix was moving up very nicely. Some people would have thought, well, it's kind of coming up too high. It's time to short this. It's overbought. The institutions are not buying it anymore. The volume is drying up. Why don't we just listen to what the market's telling us? Based off market behavior, we think that there's a buy signal set up right here based on these 3 bars. Well, all we have to do is go over the rules of strategy number 4. Once we do, we know where there's a strategy number 4 set up. We just want to check our work. We click on the 4 tab. The drop-down menu appears. Click on signal arrows. And yes, it's confirmed. We have a buy signal. Is that enough to take the trade? Well, if you're a member of the strategy number 4 course, you have a high level of consistency just based off strategy 4. But you will have a higher level of consistency if you add the PET D. That's our dynamic duo. So you click on the PET D and guess what? Not only is that bar colored green, but all the bars have been colored green. Even when we had this sell-off of 4 or 5 days, they were all colored green. So that's telling you that the market has sold off, but the short-term trend is still saying it wants to go higher. So this is a great confirmation. If you're an investor, if you're a swing trader, to go long Netflix, and as you can see, it went up 108 points. I'm not saying you would have made 108 points, but you could have potentially captured anywhere within that. Maybe you wanted to make 1 point and get out. That's fine. That's up to you. We have some traders who like to get in and out quickly. But if you wanted to make 20, 50 points, that's fine. We give you different options for exiting, for entering, for stop placement. Remember, there are no statistics because there are so many different variables. It's up to you to decide. It's like a smorgasbord. We put everything out there for you. You decide what you want to take. We don't tell you, no, you have to eat this. No, you have to eat this. This is what makes it statistically perfect in your meal. We don't believe that. You have the choice to decide what dish you want to create and what you want to eat. It's the same way with trading. We give you all the different variables, the information, the education that has stood the test of time, and then we let you decide based on your own trading persona, because some traders are conservative. Others are aggressive. Others like to trade in and out quickly. Others like to hold long positions. That's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with any one of those types of trading. The only thing that's wrong is when you try to copy someone else's style and trade the way they do, use their very same exits and entry plans, and just mimic whatever they're doing. That's basically saying to the markets, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. I'm not smart enough or educated enough, so I'll just follow blindly whatever you're doing. And that's a recipe for disaster. In my opinion, why 80% of all traders fail. Once you have the education and the information, you can make your own decision. That's how you become a knowledgeable and a consistent trader. So let's recap before we go into question and answer portion. Remember, in order to survive in today's markets, you need a 1-2 punch. It's not enough just to have some method based off a moving average crossover. It's not enough to have one idea of what some blogger is telling you what to do. That's not going to really get you, on board as a consistent trader. You need a 1-2 punch. The one portion would be strategy number 4. That's a method based off market behavior that has a certain level of consistency that takes its cues from what the market is telling you, not from what an outside source is telling you. But you also need something to confirm it. You need something that will increase its odds for consistency, a tool that will filter out some of the losses, and that's the PET D. Our color bar tool that I've been using consistently on a daily basis for over 4 decades now. Once you combine these two, this 1-2 punch, you create one of our most consistent trading plans, our consistent methods we have at Pro Trader Strategies and Specialist Trading. That's our dynamic duo. Excuse me. So before you ask me questions, I want to ask you, do you think the dynamic duo could have helped your trading this past year? Most likely, if you're like most traders, your trading year hasn't panned out the way you really wanted it to. We really only have a month and a half left of the trading year, okay? Are you anywhere near where you thought you'd be January 2018? Well, we're going to be in January 2019 in just a month or two. Do you want to finish it the same way you finished it up this year, or would you like to get your trading going in the right direction for a change? We have a great offer for you today, all right? This is our special attendee discount. We're going to offer you our PET D special, or I should say dynamic duo special. That's the strategy number 4 with the PET D, all right? You're going to get instant course access, detailed instruction, roughly 20 videos. You're going to learn all the different entries, all the different exits, all the different stops, and then you can choose which one makes you feel the most comfortable. You will be supplied with automatic buy and sell arrows, but remember, these are for educational purposes only so that you can find out to see whether you are in line with the rules. This also comes with 4 Pet D trading techniques, entirely different from what we share with you today. Includes both add-ons, so you can, if you use TradeStation or Metastock, you can apply these onto those. It takes a little work. You have to, upload them, and maybe you might want to call your tech support to help you with this, but you can get the automatic buy signals and the color changes on certain platforms. And as well, you have educational correspondence with yours truly. You can always email me for any questions. Now, let me share with you some recent examples using our dynamic duo. Looking at PZZA, this was just a month ago. Someone looking at this would say, well, gosh, there was kind of a sideways range here, not really anything happening. But guess what? Strategy 4 generated a buy signal. We're above the 50-period moving average, which you can't see, and we close in the top portion of the bar. So those are the first 2 rules that we teach you, which I just gave you. That's a valid setup. But if you're a member of the dynamic duo course, you want to confirm with the Pet D. And once you do that, you see that all of the bars are green, even though all we need is for this bar to be outlined green. That would have given you the confidence to go long. You could have used any one of our different variables for entering. You could have entered, I should say, on the close of that day if you were an aggressive trader, or waited for different scenarios. But either way, look what happened in the next day. The stock gapped up 5 points because of buyout rumors, all right? Did we know anything about these buyout rumors? Absolutely not. Because market behavior will tell you what the market wants to do that you're trading. You don't need to listen to that if you don't want to. Remember, it's up to you, but there's absolutely no reason to. Here's another example here. On the exact same day, the spiders generated a buy signal. If we go back here, remember there was a buy signal in PZZA, I believe that's Papa John's, on the 8th of October, a month ago. Well, the very same day, a buy signal was generated in the spiders. That's the ETF that represents the S&P 500. We're above the 50-period moving average, and we close in the top portion of its range. But what color is the bar? We added the Pet D, and that should have colored it green if we wanted to take the trade. Well, it colored it red. And we all know what happened in October. So we didn't take that trade prior to that coming out, and then look what happened, okay? You would have saved yourself a very miserable next 2 days if you had bought the spiders, or maybe even options based off this. Some of the best trades, as my mentors told me, are the ones you never take. This is where the dynamic tool 1-2 punch can help you at times. Another example in Starbucks, on the 12th, all right, about 3 weeks ago, another buy signal was generated. It looks like the stock's doing nothing, but strategy number 4 generated a buy signal. So we had the Pet D, and even though the bars prior to it were colored red, that's okay. As long as the bar above the arrow is green, that gives us the confidence to take it should we decide to do so. And it would have been a good decision because coming in to the end of October, beginning of November, the stock's up roughly 9 points. Now, once again, that's daily bars. If you want to look at a weekly bar, here's a weekly bar in GD, okay? 24 points in 2 weeks. We have a sell signal generated here. It's colored red. And that would have been a nice trade, whether you wanted to buy puts, whether you actually shorted the stock. It's entirely up to you. But remember, strategy number 4, the Pet D work on any market, any direction, and any time frame. So this is our dynamic duo special. This is the way to get your trading back on track for 2019. Now, there's so much information jam-packed in both of these methods. If we broke this down, strategy number 4 would actually cost you independently close to $700. And without the special, the Pet D would cost you $29.95. So combined together, you would be spending close to $3,700. Don't worry, we're not going to charge you $3,700. We're not even going to come close to that. Here's what our Dynamic Duo special is. We're going to only charge you a one-time fee of $14.97 plus $97 per month. That's it. $14.97 plus $97 per month. But guess what? We're not going to stop there. We also are going to include a special bonus of our platform. This is the platform I designed with Pro Trader Strategies. We're going to give you a full year, 12 months of the PTS Primo Charting Platform. This makes everything easy. Why? Because it's one click away. Rather than having to figure out how to upload all the add-ons onto your platform and mess it up and worry with your tech support if they can help you or wait for them, we have it all pre-formatted. Everything is one click away. So you have a free usage of that for 12 months. Now, 12 months of our platform usually costs $17.65. Once again, we're not going to charge you $17.65. The special bonus is that we're only going to charge you $0. You're going to get 12 months free, a full year free of our platform with the Dynamic Duo. Now, you're going to say, well, okay, but I'm just getting the Dynamic Duo. It may be better if I just upload the stuff onto my platform as I have it right now, but that actually wouldn't be a good idea because you're going to get so much more with the platform. Here's what's included. Obviously, strategy number 4 and the PET-D trend identifier, but you're also getting these proprietary exit levels, which is a brand new feature, which even though we teach you these in the course, this is one of our different options for exiting, and it's right there. It's one click away. Remember I talked about how you could have exited the Facebook trade prior to that negative news coming out and losing everything? Well, let me show you how simple it is. Once again, before this news came out, you would have been long Facebook, and had you not exited yet, all you had to do is click on the strategy number 4 tab, click on range extensions, and automatically you see these different levels based on a proprietary formula that we teach you in the course. Now, if you're the type of trader that likes to exit early and get out quickly, you could have used exit number 1. Exit number 2 would have given you a little bit more profit. Exit number 3 is used by those traders who like to have a nice risk-reward ratio. Here you're making a lot and probably risking maybe about 1 to 3 or 3 to 1 risk-reward ratio. Exit number 4 is our final exit. This is where we say you must exit the trade because usually this is where the trend changes. So you want to get out of your full position here. And so as you can see, that would have coincided right here. So do you see the beauty of what we're offering you? We're not just giving you the PET-D, we're also automating how you can exit here by one click, clicking on the range extension exit. That's included as well. You're also going to get over 90 of the most prominent technical indicators to experiment with. You're also going to get a special bonus, our signal scanner, which is just worth its weight in gold just by itself. I use this on a daily basis. It helps me so much. Let me show you how simple it is. Once again, you would click on strategy number 4, click on the scanner. You'd see this page appear on your platform next to your chart. All you have to do is click on load symbols. We provide you with a list anywhere from Bitcoin, NASDAQ, Dow, futures, currency pairs, anything you want to trade. You can even create your own list, and they automatically appear in less than about 20 or 30 seconds. All right. Once they do, you click on scan. In less than about 15 seconds, you'll see a series of green or red horizontal bars. The green bars mean that's a buy signal. The red bars mean that's a sell signal. That's how simple it is. So you'll know for the next day whether you're getting a buy or a sell signal. All right. You're also getting Bloomberg TV. I know we've said that we don't require any fundamental news in any of our strategies, but we're not here to tell you how or how not to trade. So if you feel you need to know what the earnings are, if you feel to know what the news announcements are, the economic conditions, all you have to do is click on our media page and you will have automatic live Bloomberg TV on your platform next to your chart. And then lastly, this comes with personalized tech support. Any reason there's an issue, you can't load up a chart or click on a tool or an indicator, our tech support has gotten tremendous testimonials from our current users. And so most of the time, the issues are resolved in less than an hour or two. So this is all included with the 12-month Dynamic Duo special, all right? $14.97 plus $97 a month. You're going to get strategy number 4 along with a PET-D tool, which make up our most popular as well as consistent plan. That's the Dynamic Duo strategy. Included with that is 12 months of our PTS Primo Charting Platform included free. So here's how to take advantage of this great offer. I designed it with Pro Trader Strategies. They handle all the discounts, all of the tech support. You can call them directly, or I would say you can email them if you'd like to do that. But I would most likely recommend calling them if you have any more questions about discounts or about how to pay off that $14.95 with the $97 per month. Now, the link you see at the very bottom is the link that will take you to the sign-up page, all right? It also provides more information. It's not live, but there's a live link on our chat box in the far right-hand corner. You can simply go to the chat box, and that will give you the information there, okay? So The information you need to become a student of mine, become a member of the Dynamic Duo course is right here in front of you. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask me. Go to your question and answer box, and I promise the last 10 or 15 minutes for any questions you may have. Feel free to ask. Let's see, we have a couple of questions. The first one is saying, Steve, do you have to take trades above or below the 50-period moving average? Well, that's what one of the rules are for strategy number 4. So yes, now we have other techniques and trades, and remember, you can always alter the plan according to your means, but what we always suggest, especially for students in the beginning, is to apply the 50-period moving average. In other words, if price is above, then you will only be getting a buy signal. If price is below, you'll only get a sell signal. You can actually apply that rule right now to your trading. Go back and look at your last 10 or 20 trades. Most likely you lost money because you were buying below the 50 and selling above. So we want to keep this rule intact, at least in the very beginning, okay? Another question is, do you have a trial period? No, we don't. We don't have a trial period because we're giving you all the rules. So in other words, you will learn everything on how to use this probably within a week or two, all right? And then if you say, well, it's not my cup of tea, well, guess what? You know, if we refund you, you still learned the entire strategy. You got everything for free. So we don't have a trial period, but trust me, this would normally cost you $3,700 with the the standard, and then with the Pet D, we're talking over close to $6,000. All right, that is a lot of money, and we understand that. We're giving you this entire package for less than $1,500, one-time fee, and then just $97 per month for the platform and for the Dynamic Duo. So that is a great, great offer. I can't think of anything better than that coming into the new year and trying to get your trading on track. Trust me when I say this is our most popular trading package we have at Pro Trader Strategies and Specialist Trading because it is so consistent. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every trade works 100%. You've seen in those examples that there were many losses with strategy number 4, but the Pet D oftentimes can weed out and filter out those losses. So that's the beauty of it, okay? Someone's asking, can this be applied to commodities? Yes, as I said earlier, it can be applied to virtually any market, any time frame, and any direction. We've had some students before in the past say, well, Steve, I don't day trade. So I heard you said that this catches quick momentum. I don't look for quick momentum. I'm a swing trader to a long-term investor. I'm not just trying to get a short-term trade. That makes absolutely no difference. It can work on a monthly bar, all right? So if you like to stay in a signal for a year, you can do that. We teach you how to do that in the course, and it makes no difference if you like to trade this on tick charts, which is the way I apply it, or you can trade it on monthly bars. It makes no difference. It makes no difference if you trade it on currency pairs. It makes no difference if you trade it with Bitcoin or with commodities or with futures. It works in any market, any time frame, any direction, okay? As we conclude here, I just want to say once again, we are at the end of 2018. I mean, if you've had a terrible year, most likely you're not going to make it all back and have a profit or even go back to breaking even in the short time we have left in 2018. At least, wouldn't you like to get your trading on track in the right direction? That's all we're offering. We're just trying to give you some high level of consistency here to get you going in the right direction. We're just trying to make you in charge of your trading for the very first time. Think of it. How do you make your trading decisions? Do you go to a signal service, a nightly service, or do you go to a blog every day to find out what they like, or a chat room or a trading room? This is the way the majority of traders make their trading decisions. And this is why it's been estimated that 80 to even now 85% of all traders fail. You have to be in charge of your decisions. You shouldn't rely on what someone's saying on TV or someone saying in a chat room. You should only rely on one thing. That's the chart in front of you, because it basically tells you everything you need to know. Remember that example I shared with you in pizza, PZZA, Papa John's? Well, there were buyout rumors the very next day it went up 5 points. Did we have any insider information about that? Absolutely not. The only reason we decided to generate a buy signal, or I should say the only reason the strategy decided to generate a buy signal, was because it's already in the price. If you know what to look for, if you educated yourself, it's right there in front of you. So this is what we do. We don't promise to have systems that never fail. We don't back test. We just give you sound fundamental education that has stood the test of time and then mentor you so that you can be in charge of your trading destiny. If you want to get 2019 started in the right direction, this is a great way to do it. So remember, contact Pro Trader Strategies. I would recommend and suggest calling them. There's no obligation. You can talk to one of their trading consultants. They'll answer any question you may have and give you more information, maybe work with you on that discount we have, okay? As we conclude here, I hope you saw how much attention we give to educating you, how I really wanted to share with you and show you my feelings and philosophy about how it is that one can become consistent in today's markets and how one becomes unprofitable using the same old things that really don't show any consistency at all. All right. As we close, once again, I want to invite each and every one of you, if you're thinking about it, to come join me November 12th through 14th at Bally's Las Vegas. It's at the Traders Expo in Las Vegas. I'll be there. Would love to meet you. Would love to talk about the markets or education, and just love to thank you for being a student of mine and get to meet you in the face and maybe share a drink or a good time talking, okay? So come join me. This is the Traders Expo in Las Vegas next week, November 12th through the 14th. Thank you so much for attending. As you see, my last disclaimer here, I wish you the best of luck in trading, and I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine in the Dynamic Duo course. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.